Hello, welcome to the Utah Puck Report. We're still getting to know our new NHL players. We're so excited to have our yet to be named team. Today, very special guest, Sean Durzi. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jay. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, it's exciting to have you on the show. I mentioned you were on a team that I watched before, but I'm not going to watch them anymore. There was another team that I used to be a fan of, but I'm burning, which is going to end up being half my wardrobe. I'm getting rid of all of it. So Sean, we want to get to fans of Utah. We want them to know about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And tell us a little bit about your hockey background.
Yeah, well, Jay, I'm a terrible person. Really don't like. I'm just kidding. No, I grew up in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I started playing hockey when I was about 5 years old. I kind of went up through the ranks there. Like every kid, you have the dream. You start because you love the game, and then you and your friends all say you want to play in the NHL. And as you get older, and as the group kind of splits up, you start to realize this might be possible. And I had a very unconventional route. I went late in one draft, and then in the OHL draft where I played my junior hockey in Ontario. And then I kind of went I got drafted my second year eligibility. I had to sit through a full draft in Chicago and didn't get picked, so that was a little bit rough. But the next year I got picked to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then traded to your former favorite team, and which is the LA Kings. And then I got traded last summer to Arizona, which is now Utah. So it was unconventional. I've been around a little bit in different organizations. I haven't been around the league too long, but I have a few years under my belt so far.
Just tell me a little bit about being drafted by Toronto as a Toronto kid. Like that's the dream, right?
Yeah, you know what? It was, to be honest with you, it was. So we went to Chicago in 2017, which was my first year of eligibility, and it's funny. I was having the conversation with someone the other day because they were asking me about it too. But sitting through that, I always said I was kind of on the brink. I knew I would have been a late pick that year, but one of my best friends was going early in the draft, so I went to go support him. He plays in Montreal now, but anyways, we sit through the first draft, and when the draft finished, I was crushed. I thought I'd be okay. I was pretty crushed for the first little bit, and then I was motivated. And then the next year, I had a really good year. I had a really good summer. I kind of scraped the board clean and said, what do I got to work on? What do I got to get better? And I put everything into it. And I was lucky enough, the next year in 2018, the draft you're talking about, to get picked in the second round to Toronto, which was, it was a great experience. And I think we sat through the first round, and I kind of looked over at my parents and I said, this is kind of feeling a little bit like last year. And I wasn't expecting to be a first rounder, but I was, still kind of getting that PTSD a little bit of I might not get picked this year too. You never know. So I think just being picked was a relief for myself. And then in the next coming weeks is when you realize, being picked to a market like Toronto was pretty crazy. Especially growing up there. So it was a good experience. Obviously, it was a dream come true just to be picked at the time, and then to realize it was Toronto was fun.
Uh, Tell us about what you are as a player. What role do you plan on filling on this team? Because Utah needs to know what they're getting out of Sean Durzi. Are you? Tell us what kind of player you are and what role you're going to fill.
Yeah, well, I play, and I'm a right shot defenseman. In LA, I played both sides, the left, and even the last year, I played right and left defense. I thought that was a really cool thing I could have added to my toolbox, which I think I have over the past few years. It was something that was challenging, and as a young player, it was tough to do at times, but pretty proud of the way I've kind of added that to my game. I was always known in junior hockey as a power play guy, and coming up through the ranks there. And in the NHL, I was lucky enough to play power play right away with LA, and behind a pretty good defenseman, Drew Doughty in there. And I think learning a lot from him on the power play. But I think I've taken a lot of pride in my ability to kind of play both sides of the puck now. I think this year having the opportunity to defend against top lines around the league, challenge myself to see how well I can shut them down while still producing, on the offensive side of the puck. So it was a great year learning last season, I think. And what I'm bringing to Utah is, you know, more than ever in my game, at least, is the two-way defenseman who can, play power plays, penalty kill, any situation in the game, which is, something I try to pride myself on. And obviously a guy who has a lot of growth still ahead of him. And, I'm excited for that and to do it in front of, the fans in Utah.
Yeah, we're excited to see it too. And I was actually going to ask you about playing with Doughty, but I mean, last year you had 41 points. That's really good for a defenseman. And even with the struggles that Arizona had, and you're on the ice a ton, and you still were just -1. So that's a testament to how solid your game is. Do you have any crazy stories about playing with Doughty,
Um,
or even just something fun about playing with a guy like that?
yeah, I mean, the craziest one, I can tell you a crazy one. It was, I think we were in Nashville, and it was my second year in LA, and we were on the power play, and my unit started the power play. We were kind of my second year, we were a 1-2 punch, and my first year he wasn't around. Like he was hurt that year, and it's part of the reason I got my opportunity. And different story, but um, I think the best story, I'll start with this one, is day one of camp. I come in, I'm nervous, and he's a guy I've looked up to my whole life, and we step onto the ice just to skate around, warm up the legs, and I see him kind of skating over towards me, and I kind of just bury my head, and you just want to stay out of the way as a young guy, and be good teammate, good player for the team. And he right away comes up to me and says, "Listen, I've been in your shoes before. I know what it's like. Coming from playing the same junior team in Guelph." He said, "Anything you need, you let me know. Any questions you got, and I'm excited to kind of work with you as a player and as a teammate." So that was pretty cool, I think, for a guy like that to do that. So he probably doesn't even remember it, but it was something that stuck out to me, and it's something that I could have learned from, and going forward, hopefully one day, if there's an opportunity like that, and there's younger players coming in and kind of play the same role or something like that, I can do the same thing, make him feel welcome, and build that kind of culture around a team. And it was lucky enough to learn from guys like that. But back to the crazy one, we were in Nashville, and I mean, he plays about 26 minutes a night on average. And that year we were a 1-2 punch power play, so we started my unit, and you know, I uh, I ended up playing about a minute 45 of the power play, and I come back to the bench, and he let me know pretty firmly that I can't do that, especially with him on the bench. So we laughed. We honestly we were both going at it there for a quick minute, and then after the game, we laughed because we both have that competitive nature of wanting to do it for the team and be the best. And I think it was a cool moment because you can see both of our competitive sides coming out on the same time, on the bench, in game, in the heat of the moment. And we talked about it after. It's that fire that kind of helps teams win games, and that passion. And to see two guys who have that together was it was a cool experience.
That's awesome. So, and that's a great mentor too. Like the fact that he came to you, and hopefully you take that with you as well.
Of
So
course.
tell me a little bit. Now you get to Arizona, and you're getting your first season in, and then all of a sudden there's rumblings, right? Like you guys might be moving somewhere. When do you remember when you first heard that? And did you remember when Salt Lake first came up?
I do. I mean, we heard it all year, but we also heard that there have been rumors before. So it was kind of our, I don't want to say like, because it's a distraction. It was a distraction all year. You think about it, it obviously can get in guys' heads. It can get in the team's heads, especially when we're in a push, things like that. But I think we've heard that it happened before, and we weren't sure, like, because a lot goes into a relocation. I mean, it's not just the team moving. Like, guys got to move their families, things like that. So it can be a distraction thinking about all that stuff. But I remember when it came up, uh, I don't want to say I don't want to talk about the losing streak, but I mean, we got pretty cold after that. And, every day we hear some different things, and at some point we just looked at each other and talked about it as a team and said we gotta shut this out. Obviously, we'll worry about that in the off season if it happens. You roll with it the best you can. You do what we got to do. We deal with what we got to deal with in the off season. But right now we got business to take care of. We're professionals. This is our job, and we got to show up and show up some results for the organization and for our fans. So I think that was kind of a turning point. I thought we started playing some better hockey after that, but it was definitely a new distraction that I think hopefully none of us got to go through again. But it was good to kind of go and learn from that.
Yeah, it's different. You hear all the time about guys being put on the trade block or the rumors that are going to get traded, but when your whole team's up on the block,
Yeah,
it's a little different. Because guys get distracted, right? If I'm going to be traded, wait, the whole team's being traded. It's a very unique situation to be in.
yeah,
Um, have you ever been to Utah before?
I have. I was lucky enough to play a game there with LA. Maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I played in that Frozen Fury game. Um, it was a quicker trip, which you don't really get to see much. But then again, I've been there twice. When we came down there and kind of were able to tour around for the first time. See the building, see the ins and outs of it, and go through a few neighborhoods and kind of get an idea of what it's like and where we're going to be living.
So that's a pretty unique situation for you. So you're one of the few guys that's already played in the Delta Center, which I was the e-bug,
Yeah.
by the way. I like to throw that out because I like to talk about me being an e-bug. I was anyway, but so you're one of the few guys that got to play in the Delta Center. Have you told other people what it's like, or can you tell us what the experience is like for one of the only NHL guys that's played in the Delta Center?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to the guys before we went, and I honestly vaguely remember it, but it was a competitive game because of the atmosphere. To be honest with you, you can tell that people were excited about having hockey in that building, and um, for a preseason game, uh, it was one of our rivals. We did play against Vegas at the time, and um, you can tell that it was there was an energy in there, and it was pretty cool to have that energy in a state that didn't have hockey at the time. So that was exciting. And you know what? I think for our game, I think one of the most important things is getting the opportunity to watch it in person. Um, I know it's tough for the states that don't have teams, but for the NHL and for Utah to get those games, in the preseason and just to see the action live, it's so much different than watching it on TV. It's you hear the glass banging and you hear guys yelling and the crowd's going crazy, and that atmosphere is kind of what I think gravitates a lot of people towards it and catches people's attention and quite honestly makes people fall in love with the game. So I think that's cool, and it's exciting now that more people in a new state are able to watch hockey.
Yeah, we're very excited. We've just been thankful that we had the Frozen Fury and how cool it was to have the NHL
Yeah.
just come in, and now we have our own team. And I can tell you, man, and obviously, so the Utah fans show up, like Ryan said, and so take us through that part from your experience coming to Utah and seeing it now as a member of the Utah NHL team and being able to go around and see Utah as a member of the team.
Yeah, that was quite honestly, one of the coolest experiences I've had so far in my career. I think a lot of it was unexpected. We weren't sure what we were going to be going through, and obviously everything happened so quick. So when we found out we were moving, I think it was pretty important to at least go see Utah, and that's what we thought it was. Just we're going to come check it out. It was going to be pretty relaxed for the most part. I wasn't even sure it was possible to pull together an event like that quick. So it was to see the turnout, and I remember the moment I remember is we're in the building, and we're underneath in one of the suites, and just waiting to be introduced, and someone points to the TV screen, and it was a feed of the arena, and it was absolutely packed. And we had no clue it was going to be like that. We thought, you know what, uh, we're here. We heard some fans might be there, but then we heard there was, a line outside the building to get in, that they had to stop letting people in because it was so full. And then we're talking, we're enjoying it or whatever, and you hear the roar through the stands, and we're like, oh my god, this is for real. So that moment of us walking out, and to hear the fans, and as close as you can be to a playoff atmosphere at this time of the year without actually playing, that was it right there. So that was pretty cool, walking out on the ice, and then just for the fans to kind of give us that welcome, it was pretty special. I mean, you play a lot of this game for the people who support the team, and it's a results based business, and obviously, at the end of the day, it's one organization, all the fans, the organization. It's one big family. We all want the same thing, and that's to win. So whether people are critiquing you or not, whether things are going your way or not, everybody wants to win. Who supports the team and who plays in the organization. So it's cool to kind of get that first feel of a big family like that, and for the fans to kind of welcome us like that. And I thought that was a special moment.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And from our standpoint too, but it's cool because basically everybody we've talked to so far has said the same thing. They've been like, that was the coolest experience of my career. So
Yeah.
that's impressive. That's really cool to hear. Um, okay, so you have that experience, and then you think back to your hockey career about all the traditions that you've seen, and certain teams have certain traditions. You think of Detroit with the octopus, or Florida with the rat, and things like that. Um, can you tell us a cool hockey tradition you know of? And you've got a clean slate here. You've got a chance to start your own tradition. Can you think of one you'd like to start here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some pretty cool ones around the league, I think. I think eventually it's going to come naturally, and there's going to be something that goes on that it sticks. I think this is something you can't force. It's just got to happen. So I think, I mean, you never know. I don't think anyone's ever really thought of that until it happened, and then it stuck. So I think that's going to be something that's cool. Um, yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you anything now. I just hope whatever they're throwing is not hard and won't hurt us. And if it does end up hitting us, so anything, that's all I could hope for, really.
So,
But
you,
open to anything. We'll see how it goes.
yeah, you'd rather it be because the plastic rats, but wouldn't you rather get hit with a plastic rat than a dead octopus?
Yeah, probably. I can tell you that.
All right,
Depends what level of the arena it's coming from, but yeah, probably that.
yeah, I guess so. All right, here's the big question. You've seen the list of 20 names, right? Tell us your top 4 picks for what you want this team to be called.
Tough question, honestly. This is your, I was told there's no hard balls in this interview, but this has got to
this,
be.
this is my shock journalism right here.
No, listen, honestly, I don't really have a preference yet. I think that's kind of something I think it's going to be cool to see what it comes down to, and to see what the consensus is amongst the fans, and what the team comes up with. Uh, I don't know. I honestly I like most of them. Uh, I mean, for the first year, we're what, Utah Hockey Club? Is that?
Yeah, I think that's right. Let's just
Yeah. So
I know
that's,
it's going to say Utah, so yeah.
or just Utah. I think Utah Hockey Club was in there, but I don't know. I have no preference. Obviously, it's cool to whatever they pick. It's going to be cool to represent that team for the first time, and I think that's why so much is going into it, is because you don't pick a name and you just change it a bunch, and it's a big deal. So it's going to be cool. I'm definitely going to be following it. I'll tell you that. I can't pick 4 right now, but I'll be following what comes up in the next little bit, or in the next year or so.
But so you've been seeing online, you've been seeing all the different like renderings of the jerseys and mascots that just the fans are doing.
I have family and friends always. You get I guess it comes up on their feed, and they send it over to me, and I like it, and there's been some cool ones. I think for the most part, I mean, I honestly have no preference. If you want me to be honest with you, I can't pick. So from what I've seen so far, there's been some cool ones. From a lot of people I know, I guess Yetis has been hot
Yeah.
so far, and uh, Fury I've heard, Blizzard. I don't know. I honestly like them all. I went through the list and I was like, yeah, I could see it. Outlaws was in there. Like, um, I couldn't even tell you. Like, you name one, you think of a thing. I just hope our jerseys are cool. Like that's the only thing. And I'll be the first one to tell you how much I like those. So we'll see. We'll see how that comes out, and I'm sure we'll find out more. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of the names I've seen have been really well. I thought I knew.
What's your favorite?
Well,
Let's
see,
let's
I
spin
thought
this
I knew.
interview around.
Okay, I'm always ready for that. So I thought I knew what I wanted. I thought I was 100% in on Yeti, and then as things started going, the Outlaws, because we were the Wild West, so that kind of struck with me. And then the Mountaineers was cool, and then somebody put a rendering up of that Mammoth jersey the other day, and I liked the color scheme, I liked the mascot, I liked all of it, and I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I have my four favorite, but I'm also like whatever it is, just let me
Did you
know.
just say them? Is that so? Would you say Mammoth?
So Mammoth, Yeti, Mountaineers, and Outlaws. I think
Yeah,
that's
Outlaws I've heard too. Yeti I've heard.
um
Yeah, it's gonna be like it's interesting. Do you think there's any that they left off the list that you would have liked to see?
yeah, powder hounds. I told well, the first time I met with Ryan, we were talking about it, and I had kind of gone through this on one of the times that when I was e-bugging for Vancouver in that Frozen Fury game. I got to sit down with some of the people from Vancouver, and we started talking about they were going to bring their AHL team here, and we talked about what name can we go with that's not going to offend anybody that also ties into Utah? And we went through a bunch of different names, and Outlaws came up then, and we thought maybe it was too offensive. And then we went to when we came up with skiers. Well, skiers are also called powder hounds. The people that come here just to ski are fresh. We have the best snow on earth, and that's true. As far as I know, it's true. And, the powder here, everybody, they're called powder hounds, and I love it, and I love dogs. So I was like, I'm in. Powder hounds it is.
Yeah.
And that's now my men's league team. I just kept it. So I was surprised that they went with powder on the list and not powder hounds. So that was the one I wanted on there. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I like them all. I'm just ready to go. I'm just like I'm ready to get out of all the. I have like I have a ton of Kings shirts, and then I have
You're gonna
like
have to get rid of them, my friend, I
I know
think.
I told Ryan the day I met him because I was wearing a Golden Knights hoodie, and I said, he's like, we got to get that off you. And I'm like, you don't like the Knights? I said, you bring me an NHL team, I'll be head to toe. I'll even wear the underoos if you make it, and I'll get a tattoo. And I'm standing by. I'll do it all. I'm in 100%. I'm ready for this.
Except we don't have any. You know what? I heard a good one actually the other day. I mean, I was seeing some family. I'm visiting home right now, and someone came up with Utah Rock, and they thought that was a great idea because the Jazz are there.
Yeah,
I know that has no correlation, but I know the Jazz are there, and then the Rocks from the mountains. So I kind of liked Utah Rock was a cool one that wasn't on that list. But I mean, like I said, they're all you say them out loud just to kind of hear it and see what rolls off the tongue nice. They're all pretty good. Like you can pick any one of them. So we'll see.
yeah. I'm in 100. I agree 100%. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we let you go? Is there anything else you would like to tell the Utah fans?
About myself, no, like I said, just terrible person, hates people. No. No, listen, I'm really, really excited. I think the general feeling around the team is, we want to win in front of these fans, and it's going to be cool because there's nothing like bringing and myself. I'm a passionate person. I play the game with a lot of emotion, and I think that's what makes me kind of the player I am. Is I do it for, like I said, the family of an organization in the NHL, and I think that for us to become a family, it's exciting, and you're only you can only grow, which is great as a new organization. You know, you bring people on and people who haven't seen the game for the first time, they watch it and they become fans for life. And I think that feeling of winning and then celebrating together, that's kind of what we're all chasing. And I'm really, really excited to play for that, to push for that, and to do it in front of the people in Utah.
Man, we're excited to have you, Sean. This is a great interview. We can tell you're going to fit right in, and we're excited to have people like you playing for us. And I hope you can feel that through the glass, because we're going to bring as much energy to that building as we possibly can. Just we did it for the pep rally. We showed up. We had the excitement. We had people turned away. I heard there were people that started at midnight the night before or in that line.
Crazy.
That's the energy I'm hoping we're bringing to every game from now until the end of time.
I appreciate the kind words, Jay. Thank you.
All right. And that is the Utah Puck Report.